A lot of men don't lose relationships because they're weak. They lose them because they're too available, too flexible, and too accommodating before they've been chosen. And what hurts the most is that most men don't even realize they're giving themselves away. They think they're being kind. They think they're being supportive. They think they're doing what a good man is supposed to do. But underneath that behavior is something quieter, a fear of being replaced, a fear of disappointing, a fear that if they don't give enough, they'll be left. And that fear slowly erodes respect. Today, I want to walk you through 5 boundaries men must set early, not to control women, not to manipulate attraction, but to protect their emotional structure. Because boundaries are not walls, they are containers. And without them, men collapse inward. Why boundaries feel so unnatural to men. Most men were never taught boundaries. They were taught endurance. You be patient. Be understanding. Be the bigger person. But patience without self-respect becomes self-abandonment. Boundaries aren't about saying no aggressively. They're about saying yes selectively. And men who don't learn this early end up exhausted, confused, and resentful, while still blaming themselves. So let's slow this down, not with rules, but with understanding. Boundary 1, your financial life is private early. On one of the fastest ways a man loses his footing in a new connection is by turning his finances into a resume, not because he's arrogant, but because he's trying to signal safety. Men often equate providing with being valuable, so they share numbers, plans, stability, potential, and suddenly the relationship shifts. Not consciously, but subtly, from curiosity to evaluation. And when that happens, something important is lost. You're no longer a man being discovered. You're a resource being assessed. This doesn't mean women are calculating or malicious. It means attraction and security live in different parts of the brain. And when security shows up too early, desire quiets. Your money is not an introduction. A grounded boundary sounds simple. I don't mix finances early, but I trust you'll handle it. No defensiveness, no explanation, no guilt, just clarity. A woman who respects structure will respect this immediately. A woman who resists it reveals something important about her expectations, and either way, you win. A man doesn't lose respect because he lacks money. He loses respect when he offers access before he's been chosen. Boundary 2, disrespect doesn't need to be loud to count. Most men think disrespect looks like yelling or insults, but it usually arrives dressed as humor or sarcasm or dismissal. It's the interruption that goes unchallenged, the joke at your expense that gets brushed off, the eye roll that quietly rewrites the power dynamic. And men often let it slide because they don't want to seem sensitive. But here's the truth. Tolerated disrespect becomes a pattern, and patterns harden. The strongest response isn't anger, it's calm interruption. That doesn't work for me. Don't speak to me that way. No lecture, no performance, just presence. Respect isn't demanded emotionally, it's enforced behaviorally. And when a man can calmly stop disrespect without escalation, something shifts. Not just in her, but in him. Disrespect doesn't destroy attraction. Silence after disrespect does. Boundary 3, your time is not proof of interest. One of the most common mistakes men make early on is turning availability into affection. They cancel plans, they rearrange priorities, they respond instantly every time, and it doesn't come from confidence. It comes from fear of being forgotten, fear of losing momentum, fear that if they slow down, she'll disappear. But attraction doesn't grow from access, it grows from structure. A man with a life doesn't need to announce it, it shows. When you protect your time calmly, you're not rejecting her, you're anchoring yourself. I'd like to see you, but tonight doesn't work. Let's plan for tomorrow. That sentence communicates maturity, direction, and self-respect. And here's the paradox. When your time becomes selective, it becomes valuable. A man who abandons his schedule for attraction ends up losing both. Boundary 4. No emotional dumping before commitment. This is one of the most misunderstood dynamics in dating. Men mistake emotional openness for emotional intimacy. When a woman starts unloading trauma early, exes, family wounds, emotional chaos, many men step into fixer mode. They listen deeply, they reassure endlessly, they become her emotional anchor. And it feels meaningful. But something important is happening underneath. You're giving emotional labor without emotional reciprocity. And over time, this erodes polarity. You become safe but not desired, stable but not chosen. This doesn't mean you should shut down emotionally. It means emotional access must be mutual and paced. Empathy doesn't require absorption. A healthy response sounds like, "That sounds heavy." I hope you're getting support for that. You care, but you don't carry. Because emotional intimacy is not free, it's built. Men don't lose women by caring too much. They lose them by carrying what isn't theirs. Boundary 5. You don't chase distance. This is where many men unravel. When effort becomes one-sided, fear takes over. They text more, explain more, offer more, but attraction doesn't return through reassurance. It returns through space. When a woman pulls back, the grounded response isn't pursuit, it's stillness. You don't punish, you don't plead, you don't perform, you observe. And you let the dynamic reveal itself. Never reward distance with effort. If she returns with clarity and consistency, you respond. If she doesn't, the answer was already there. Boundaries don't push people away. They bring truth forward faster. Chasing doesn't create closeness. It exposes imbalance. Boundaries don't make you rigid. They make you readable. They tell the world and yourself what you value. And the right people don't feel restricted by boundaries. They feel safe inside them. If this resonated, take a moment to reflect, not on what you should change, but on what you've been tolerating. And if you want more calm, grounded explorations of male psychology, you're in the right place. I'll see you in the next one.